In the news this week, children recorded as prime victims of sexual abuse and domestic violence.
Economic experts call for peace as unemployment rates soar to new heights.
And on Western Perspective, the damning truth about Aboriginal youth incarcerations and what can be done to curb the issue.
This is the Evening News with Ivan Lung and Ali Harper.
Good evening. Children from families with domestic problems may have higher chances of suffering sexual abuse, according to the latest research. Social workers have urged both federal and state governments to increase funding on domestic violence services.
Domestic violence has long affected women, but a new study has revealed children exposed to violence are increasingly likely to be abused as well.
I think what statistics we do have are really concerning, but we do know that a whole lot of other women do not come forward and report.
The Australian Institute of Family Studies report has found 61% of women were caring for children while subjected to violence, with half of those children seeing or hearing the violence. Its increased concerns it will lead to children becoming offenders. The study coincides with the Australian Research Organisation for Women's Safety report released this week, providing a snapshot of domestic violence in the nation. The state government says the federal government's new $100 million women's safety package will help keep women and children safe.
So police have been doing a lot of work in a coordinated fashion with the Department for Child Protection to ensure that we can provide good wraparound follow-up services for victims of domestic violence.
But the opposition says it's not enough.
We need to see more, and when you've got a state Liberal government that's actually withdrawing from the area of domestic violence, it makes things very difficult.
The reports suggest there are increasing numbers of children affected by domestic violence to women, but the reports are just the first step to understanding how to combat the problem. Nelson Liu, WAMN News.
Local experts have played down unemployment figures despite statistics reaching almost 100,000 in WA alone. The state opposition claim more citizens are losing their jobs than ever before. However, economists say there's nothing to worry about.
Western Australia's jobless rate has reached an all-time high, with 95,000 job losses currently and an increase to 6.6% unemployment rate. However, it may not all be that bad. An economist suggests WA's unemployment rate is over-sensationalised and actually saw an increase compared to November 2013.
It's not a train wreck by any means. It's certainly not as negative a scenario as many of the commentators, including government ministers, have been interpreting it as.
Shadow Treasurer for Labor, however, saw the unemployment rate as a crisis and blames the government.
Mr Barnett always assumed that the revenue was here to stay forever. He always spent accordingly, and now today, here we have nearly 100,000 Western Australians out of a job.
Professor Movey, though, does not see it as the government's fault and asks for calm.
Let's be cautious. Let's recognise these figures for what they are. They're volatile. They're hard to interpret. We've got to avoid talking ourselves into a recession here.
Patrick Lazar's WAMN News.
The Coburn Bowling and Recreation Club will relocate from its 50-year-old Spearwood premises after receiving $4.5 million as part of the National Stronger Regions Fund. The facility will include synthetic bowling greens, soccer pitches and beach volleyball courts, as well as a kitchen, dining room, restaurant and cafe. The council will contribute the remaining funding costs, with the new club ready for operation in late 2017.
Certainly to hope that this time 2 years we'll be back here to see a completed project and see the community enjoy it and benefit from it. And
people of all ages and ability will be able to enjoy the lawn bowling opportunities that will be provided from here, the futsal competition and also the beach volleyball.
The Museum of Perth is celebrating its Take Me to the River exhibition, commemorating the history and innovation of Perth's waterfront designs. The project is held by UWA's Julian Boliter and explores 100 years of urban design for Perth's waterfront since 1833. The event is welcomed by the Museum of Perth's chairman, Rhys Harley, and other supporters of the art community.
What he's done is imagined how Perth would look now if those schemes had been adopted over the years. So around the walls here we have images that display what Perth could have been.
The Alibaba Group has formally announced that they will purchase one of Southeast Asia's most influential newspapers, the South China Morning Post. In an opening letter published in the paper this week, Alibaba said the purchase bid will help to improve China's image amongst the biased Western media. However, experts expressed concerns over the possibility that the newspaper will be less critical of the Beijing government.
New Zealand is stepping closer to getting a new flag after the first stage of the referendum wrapped up this week. Some citizens argued that the current flag was based on New Zealand's colonial history and closely resembled Australia's flag. It's reported that approximately 1.5 million registered voters participated in this referendum. The vote was held after more than 10,000 entries were received, only 5 of them making the shortlist.
And on Newsnight from Canberra, Blake Danielczak set to host the final radio news talkback show for 2015 as he prepares for his next chapter in the realm of media. Be sure to join Blake Danielczak this Thursday on Yes FM and online. So it's been a while, Ali.
It's been a while, Ivan, hasn't it?
So still know what to do?
I think so. Read. It's good to be back.
It's great.
For more news, you can check our website or look on our social media pages.
Time for Western Perspective, but now from the both of us, good night.
Thank you, Ivan, Ali. I'm Cecilia Faustina, and welcome to Western Perspective. Western Australia has reached boiling point with young Indigenous children involved in crime. A study has revealed Indigenous youths are 53 times more likely to be jailed